Hello there. This week's article is titled Speaker. The novel I am reading right now was going along fine until page 308 out of 445. One of the things we writers must deal with is perfecting how we identify the person who is speaking. Jack said, "I just love that dog." Or I could have written, "With love in his heart, Jack explained how he loved the dog." There are 100 ways to let the reader know who is speaking. Page 308 and the ones after were a mess. The writer can provide context. Though his head still hurt from the accident, he thought, "I've got to call 911. Or the scribe can use the simple "he said" over and over and over. Whatever slows down the train of thought for the reader is an unwelcome interruption. If the reader has to backtrack, as I did with the novel mentioned above, the flow of the story is lost. Sometimes, despite really trying, it's impossible to figure out who is talking. That is a failure on the writer's part. This is important because we have an opinion about each character who is delivering a thought or a word. The villain in a book says, "I could just kill him." That is a very different story than a frustrated mother saying, "I could just kill him," over what one of her children has done. The villain means to kill, while the mother is just irritated. The speaker must be identified to determine from his or her previous behavior what is meant when they're speaking. There are very few books in the world which have been in use for thousands of years. The reason for continued use is the relevance of its message. Even fewer talk about the importance of the book's writing. Quote, "The grass withers and the flowers fall, but the word of our God stands forever." Isaiah 40:8. All scripture is God-breathed and is useful for teaching, rebuking, correcting, and training in righteousness so that the man of God may be thoroughly equipped. 2 Timothy 3:16 through 17. And Jesus said, "Man does not live on bread alone, but on every word that comes from the mouth of God." Matthew 4:4. Whether you are a reader or a media viewer, you must consider carefully the character of the person who created what you're looking over. Who is he? What is his background? And what makes him an expert? Is he or she expressing an opinion or distributing news? How wholesome are the fantasies presented in a novel? How true is the message? Well, I hope you liked this week's article, and if you did, please click on the thumbs up down below. And if you want to subscribe, there's a button under my photograph off to the right. Have a good weekend. Talk to you soon.